But also, don't forget, CJ's like, he's totally, remember back to the start of the day where you put Rettles and Justin in there just to farm votes. I know your trick, CJ. I know you're up
That
to.
wasn't fun. Who am I going to put in over those guys?
I know you put them in there to farm SSG and Rettles and Justin fans.
It's not true. I had Justin 25 pre, and then he played well. I put him 21. I didn't have Rettles, and he found mechanics, so I'm putting him 24. He was better than Torment.
He was like, I don't think he was better than Torment. I still think Torment's better than Rettles, but
I think they're all close. I'd say 21 to like 29. You could put, you could find some guys to put in there.
I'm just really glad I didn't put TRK 16. I didn't put like Mist in my list at all. LJ, like Alpha 54. Like I feel like I could have missed a lot harder than this. I'm happy overall. Satisfied.
Yeah, I should have had Ahmed TRK a little bit higher.
Yeah, you fumbled there. You just added them. You put them together and then kept adding players underneath them.
Yeah. I was like, Astro. Oh, he's an Astro. I can't have Joyo below that.
Somebody, we've got to like figure out for next time. We're gonna like have to put together a like Word document with a bunch of like filler questions so we can ask Roldays that will not leak anything because he's so worried to leak anything now. He's just
it's so good. Doesn't want to say anything.
This is a Twitter screenshot. Liquipedia. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready.
I say something and it's like leak.
But it's like, was this a new strategy that you went for today? Were you trying to go so off the wall crazy that you would win, or what's going on here?
Is a top 25 players in threes, specifically players in the world. You could be on a really good team and not have. You could be on a really bad team and you could be a really great player, and just because you ain't winning doesn't mean that you're not in X spot. The results matter to an extent when you're on a great team. Because then it really shows, can you finish the job? But when you don't have the represent parts or the parts adequate, you don't have adequate parts to get you to that point to where you can shine, but you're still balling out and you're carrying teams to places that they cannot go without you, especially without you, that matters. My list is all that. Outside of, I would say, 22 and under, I'm confident that all 21 and above.
Well, what's wrong with 22 and under?
I mean, it's mixable.
Card is mixable.
You think card shouldn't be top 22 is what you're saying?
He could not be. He had a great war. I think his Worlds was exceptional. I think that's game plan. I think he balled out. I think he really shined, and I think that he fulfilled his role phenomenally. That's why he's in the list. I've seen him play solid, top 35-ish in the world. I think once you're in that like 22 to 40-ish range, it gets really tight. I think when you're like top 15 or so, that's like solidified in a way. Like it's hard to miss. Especially
Alpha and Mist.
Alpha Mist, they don't.
World beaters. Just they're winning everything.
They are world beaters.
Definitely not getting 1v3'd by Yan and not making lands. That is insane. If you switched, I think we could actually fix T-Bait's list with a couple of swaps. I think if you swap Joyo with, let's say, Alpha, and you swap Card with Mist, then we've got something we can work with here.
Why would I ever switch Card with Mist?
Because Card is infinitely better.
You actually believe Card is better in Rocket League than Mist.
Oh, infinitely better. They're not even on the same like planet right now. Like Furia. You think Furia can like be contenders for events with just one player? Is that what you're saying? You think they can win international
with the
events?
8th best player? Not even like a top.
I think this is flawed. It's like the logic is so like. It just bounces between different lines. Like we just use arguments.
I'm just saying, what has Mist done recently to warrant being 9 when Card is 22? There's no.
I don't think Mist is 9, but like to say that Mist isn't on Card's level at all is blasphemous.
Look at the resume. What has Mist done?
He has a resume. Mist resume is infinitely better than Card's resume. Just because Card has Yan, who Yan is 1, 2s, and 3s. Since you want to rate Gamers 8 as much, 1, 2s, and 3. Yan is exceptional on 3 of those.
Top 4 worlds. We're only
threes.
You're only thinking about 3s at Gamers 8, yeah. I mean, me personally, I'm only looking at the 3v3s from Gamers 8.
I'm talking about 3v3s in the past year and a half. What is Card done that's anywhere near Miss level?
He
like
outperformed
outside of worlds. Outside of worlds.
So worlds is not that big of a deal.
Well, the majors as well.
They have a better. We missed at Atomic. They were a top 2 team in NA.
Wait, name one major.
And they played really well in Sweden.
Where
they were dragging Turbo Poster. They were keeping them relevant.
They were top 2 with Turbo.
Turbo's coaching for a reason. God, man.
I can't believe so many of chat think that like winning a couple of NA regionals in RLCS Season X is more impressive than Card's resume. Are you guys insane? I feel like it's 5 in the morning in EU. Like literally none of you watch South American Rocket League. Like you don't watch. This is why so many people, when I put Jan on my list at this time last year, you guys were all like saying, "Who is that?" You don't watch. You actually don't watch. Like Card's resume is immaculate. He outperformed Yan. He outperformed Yan at Worlds.
He never outperformed him. Yan allowed Card to flourish. That's what great players do. When you have a player like Card who is really damn good, he is an exceptional Rocket League player. But you have a player who is Yan, who is better at Rocket League. Yan realizes, and the game plan, the coach realizes that Yan, you should play defense. You're the best at defense. Clear, no question on the team. Yan takes that role. He allows Card to play his own role and just go for the ball, score the goals, make havoc. Kyle, you do the same. That's the best way we can win. Yan allowed Card to do that.
So if it's that simple,
great players do that.
Why is no one else doing that? If it's that simple to just be like, yo, teammate, hey, just
because you have to have pretty damn good players on the team.
Just go in 4-1 Carmine Corp. Go in like
Card's not
just
bad.
Go beat Moist. He's not. He's just. Yeah, I agree. He's not bad. He's insane. He's ridiculous. He played unbelievably well at the World Championship.
Card is a top 40 player in the world, bro. I can't say the same to that about 3. Like on a bad day, Card is top 40.
No way, bro.
On a bad day, Card is top 40. Drees and Alu are not top 40, bro.
You cannot say Card is top 40 as if that's just a passing statement. What are you talking about? He outperforms, I think, the best player in the world at World Championship, and you're like, nah, 22nd. Worse than LJ. Normal. Worse than most.
I just find it laughable how there's millions upon millions of people who play this game, and when you say somebody is top 40 in the world, that is disrespectful.
It is when you're putting your list above them. Your list above them is what makes it disrespectful. That's what we're saying. You can't put players with no results. Or actually,
if I put any of these people,
lots of terrible results above them.
I put any of these people on Furia and they can speak Portuguese, I'm assuming they comment Portuguese. If they can speak Portuguese fluently, Furia improves.
No, okay.
That's why they're all above Card.
Mist does not improve Furia. Card is not worse than Mist and Furia. Are you serious?
Mist doesn't improve Furia?
Mist sits in net. Yan will be like, yo, Mist, go up front.
Game, Johnny. That's a top 3 defender in the game.
Oh, so Yan will be like, oh, Mist, just go up front and like tear Carving Corp a new one. You'll be like, nah, bro, I'm sitting in net. You know what
happens, Johnny? Mist sits net, and then you let Yan go.
Why would you let a North American net sitter? Why are you
a problem?
It actually, I don't understand why you love Mist so much when you make fun of NRG for all sitting in net. When Mist sits in net, you're like, fuck, he's amazing.
When they're all sitting in net, it's a problem. Mist can save the ball, and then he brings the ball back down at you. He has a flipper set double touch on your head. There's nothing you could do. Off the corner, nothing you could do. Like, what? Like, oh, my God.
Nah, if Mist is that great, he's not getting 1v3 by Yan in London. It's just as simple as that. There's no debate needed. He's not getting 1v3 by Yan with like professional players and a coach allegedly beside him.
A professional player and a coach.
Yeah, so I'm told. But I mean, for me personally, I think it was all pretty obvious what was happening. That they got Aleutian as a coach to bypass the like 1 trade per like split rule, and then they were always
Johnny.
League.
That's me speculating. I don't ask any pros like what's happening behind the scenes. That way I can speculate. I don't know what the leaks are. I got no leaks.
Listen, I ain't leaking anything. I just know Miss is a free agent. And whatever team Miss joins, Johnny, when that team this next season has better results than Furia will ever dream about, we're going to come back to this. Because we're going to come back to this.
So they're going to come top 2 at Worlds.
The top 2 at Worlds. That team,
better results than Furia could ever dream about.
Miss is only joining the top 4 team in NA. We all know that. We all know that. They're
going to come top 2 at Worlds. They don't.
Whatever team Miss joins will be the best team in North America.
Let me just
simple and plain.
In World Championships, so single elimination, obviously. So like in single elim, you might not get the best 2 teams on any given day in the grand final. It's just that's just what happens.
Unless whatever team Miss joins.
Wait, pause. I'm not finished. So what I was saying is like in the final day, the playoffs day of the World Championship, I think Furia were like if Furia or Carmine Corp are the second best team, in my opinion. So like let's say that second or third best team on the final day of the World Championship, that is what Furia have not only dreamed of, but literally done. They've done that. They've been there, done that. Third best team, World Championship, without question on playoff day, which is the only day that matters in a single elimination top 8 final. Literally the only day that matters. They had a really great series against Moist. Beat them. That does not mean they were the second best team that day. I think based on like what I saw, I think they were second or third. It was them or Carmine Corp were second or third, and then G2 were not this. I don't know, not the same. Different gravy, as CJ would say. So you're saying that this team, Mist's new team, is going to get results that they can't even dream of? Well, not only have they dreamt it, they've done it. They've been the top 3 team.
Dream of as in win the World Championship. I don't see Furia doing it anytime soon.
So you think Mist's new team is going to win the World Championship? Or
they will be a true contender.
You said that they're going to win. You said they're going to get the results. I want you to commit. They're going to win. That's what you said.
I don't know what team he's joining.
I mean, you literally said whatever team Miss joins. I'm just using your
They're the
words.
best team in North America. And if you're the best team in North America, you're more than likely making the grand final.
You said that they're going to get results Furia couldn't dream of. And the only thing Furia can't dream of is first. They've done everything else.
Just because you got that's top 4. Can't get, like being an actual world contender, that's something Furia can't dream of right now. You're right.
What?
Of
course they can.
They're not
if you can beat Moist, you can beat Moist on the day. But Furia wasn't going to beat BDS because they didn't. And they for sure weren't going to beat G2.
I mean, they were definitely better against BDS than G2 were. And I think if Furia make that final, I'm not trolling you. I think Furia win because G2 were quaking. Furia have the ice in grand finals for that amount of money. They've done it.
For that amount of money.
Don't they literally get an in-game title that says World's Contender for making top 8?
He's right.
Oh my gosh. You can have the title, CJ. That doesn't mean you're a legitimate.
If you can beat Moist, you can win.
Just because you can win to get paid a whole bunch of money, you did better. Yeah.
Wait, T-Bates, were Moist playing bad in their series against Furia?
I think Moist was playing pretty solid. I think Furia was also playing pretty solid. That's why. And then it came down last second. Furia.
Oh, that's so unfair though. If G2 beat Moist in that quarterfinal, you would be singing their praises like nothing else. You'd be saying that was the best performance you've ever seen. Moist were the second best team in the day, and G2 farmed them. You'd be talking it up so much. This is totally imbalanced. If that was G2 nameplates, you're so happy. You're thrilled. But since it's Furia, you're so sad. It actually annoys you that they beat Moist, I think. For some reason. I don't know why, but I think it actually annoys you that Furia beat Moist. You wish they didn't, just because then you wouldn't have to think about it. But now it happens, so it's in your head. You're like, like when you do something really dumb, like at any point during your life, and then your brain just reminds you of it at random moments. You go to the bathroom to take a dump. Your brain's like, hey, remember the time you did that? And you're like, why are you doing that, bro? Like, come on, we're the same team. Like, stop reminding me of that. That's Bates. He goes to take a dump, and then his brain's like, remember when Furia beat Moist? He's like, come on, man.
I don't care who wins, bro. These are young men playing the dang Rocket League game for $2 million, bro. Whoever wins, man. I'm friends with a lot of these dudes, bro. Like, I don't care like that. I really
you care, but
I don't care like that. I really don't.
I don't know. I'm seeing Yan 8, Card 22, Kyle nowhere to be seen.
That's respect, in my opinion, man. Like what?
Yeah, there would be respect for some teams, but not for Furia, who came top 4.
Furia top 4
took down the favorites. Any team that took down Moist were able to win the entire thing. And you don't think that they were contenders to win?
Because you have to do it 3 times. I don't think Furia could have done it 3 times.
Yeah, because they lost to the actual team that ended up being by far the best.
Because BDS dominated G2, but there's no data to say that Furia was gonna be able to beat G2. G2 handles Furia. They play exciting series, but G2 always beats them.
Nah, not in the grand final though. G2 were quick.
Like it would have to be Furia on all three series. That's not something I believe they could do. So no, I don't believe they could have won.
But why do you not believe it? We literally saw it versus Moist and BDS. They were playing like
we didn't see it.
better
With
than G2.
Moist, they played really damn good. They beat them. They start off solid against BDS, and the BDS called timeout. After that was wraps. BDS did the same thing to Furia the last 4 games that they did to G2. They took the life out of them. They said, I'm better. Simple and plain. I'm like, what?
Nah, you can't tell me Furia weren't a contender. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I don't
A
believe that.
contender in my mind is actually like having like a legitimate shot. Like everybody in the top 8 had a shot. Like if you want to put 1% chance, because you're in the top 8. So if you hit your stride, you hit your peak, yes. But I'm talking about like pure percentages. I want to say somebody has like over like a 20% chance, 30% chance to win. There's only 3 teams, in my opinion, that could have done that.
So okay, hold on. So when Furia played BDS, what was your percentage chance?
Furia beating BDS? Like a 20% chance, bro.
Oh, you're
I'm
actually ridiculous. There's no shot you believe that. I don't think you believe that.
BDS.
No,
They
you
have,
don't believe
they
that.
have 2 top 5 players in the world, bro. Yeah, like what?
Two top 3.
That's so
actually.
hard to beat. They have to throw.
But Furia have the best player in the world, so checkmate.
Yeah, checkmate, all right. The best player in the world got whooped. Apparently, according to you.
And the 15th.
I mean, if they got whooped, like what BDS did to G2 is illegal. Like they shouldn't have streamed that on E for Everyone. Like that's a different.
Hey, can we all just point out
series.
that G2 in World Championship Grand Finals are 0-2 for playing even remotely a decent series?
That's a record, actually. No one else has done that.
Well done, G2. 2 out of the 3 worst Grand Finals of a World
I think
Championship.
if G2, the way they played, I think anyone in the top 8 outside of NRG would have beaten them
True.
in that
Fact.
grand final.
I think if Phase G2 is the
If they
final
played the
phase
same.
win, Phase G2's final phase beat them.
BDS, man. They played that great. Nobody was
Phase floor is higher than what we saw in the grand final from G2.
Like they just weren't. Like I'm not saying that they played well. I'm saying they played awful. And I'm not saying I don't
Because
think it was BDS.
BDS played that
JNAPS was
well.
just watch the JNAPS like was just
you gotta
randomly
watch
missing
it
the
back.
ball. Like they were just
We
randomly
watched it
missing
back
the
last
ball.
night
Like
and
that
it
wasn't the
was
G2 we've seen any other
atrocious.
series. They were terrible in that. If they played better, they could have been a closer series. I don't think it was all on BDS being. I think BDS played a clinical series, but they didn't do anything to make JNAPS or anyone just like randomly be missing the ball off
That's
the wall
what
or
people have
something
been
like that.
saying about BDS for the past 2 years. They don't do anything. But every single time where they're on, they make every single person they play look garbage. Like
I
garbage.
mean, actually, we tried to tell you that like a year ago.
Yeah.
You weren't having any of it. You're like,
Yeah, I wasn't
nah,
having it.
bro.
I had to see it on land because I thought EU was garbage. Because EU was garbage last year.
They literally weren't. They were the same. They were
Alpha
just
54
this good.
carried Fairy Peak and K-Dop and they won the RLCS X.
Extra said in his interview that he didn't even recognize the team they were playing against because they were so awful.
Wait, did you say-
Like
you must have said that in
that's
French.
not the G2 we know.
Extra would
That's
never
not the-
say that in English. He must have said
That's
that
not
in
the
French.
G2 we know. Like, it doesn't matter who they're playing. It's still G2 can play still a strong brand and still get beat. But like that wasn't them. You can't tell me that like G2 being the second best team in the world, that was the best performance against BDS.
That was
compared to any other
G2's
team.
worst performance.
But like, okay, so why do you think if it's Furia, they wouldn't put on their worst performance? What's the difference?
Because it's the way Furia plays.
What, like super aggressive?
They play aggressive. G2 plays that all day. That's fast-paced Rocket League. It's back and forth. We can go
No,
neck and neck.
South
That's
America-
what you allow it to. It's all about play style. It's play styles type things.
But basically,
G2
Europe and
plays
South
that
America
flow
is
game.
similar. Europe and South America is actually quite similar. They pressure the ball when like constantly. MENA, SAM, and EU is very, very similar in playstyle. NA is the outlier. They're the one region that don't really do that. We've been saying
And
this.
I
for so
don't care
long.
about.
I remember, like, I think it was like 15 months ago or something. I said that after, I think no, it was literally 12 months ago after SMAD. I said that. And you guys were like, nah, NA's like way more aggressive.
Johnny,
Way
nobody
more
cares
aggressive.
about that. Johnny, I don't care how Sam plays. I don't care how NA play. I don't care how you play.
Well, you
I'm
know
talking
you
about
don't care how
I'm
Sam plays.
talking
just saying,
I'm
that
talking
is the style
specifically
that wins.
G2 Furia.
But all I'm
G2
saying
and
is,
Furia, G2 doesn't play like NA.
Furia-
G2 is way more nobody plays like G2 really. When G2's on, G2 passes more than any team in Rocket League still. By
G2
far.
still play like NA though. They still like.
Oh my
leave the ball
god,
to
nobody
go get
moves the
boost.
ball like G2, man. Stop.
You always say this. Atomic moves like nobody else. I'm like, I can do this. He's like speed flipping. It's not that hard. Go in a training pack. Like it's not that difficult. He's good, but he's not like moving like no one else. Is just the same as like a lot of other pro players. You just like when you watch G2, you're seeing a different. I don't know. You look through like rose tinted goggles. I don't think they were beating Furia or Carmine Corp or Moist on that day. Rocket League is a day-to-day game. Like maybe the next day, maybe the day before G2 would have won. The day that I saw that like playoff final day, G2's not beating Furia.
Well, at least the grand final. Like, I don't think that's not the
Yeah,
whole
not the
day
grand
G2
final,
were
no.
bad.
That
Just how they played in the
a
grand final.
bad matchup. G2 played
It's
garbage.
not. It wasn't matchup. It wasn't
a
matchup.
matchup.
They didn't
actually
show up. They didn't show up.
played
It
badly.
was not
They didn't
matchup.
show up. They didn't show up. Yes, but then BDS
But like
took advantage of that
mechanically, you
even
can
more.
still be good mechanically and on like form while still getting outplayed. But they weren't on mechanically individually. They didn't look good.
They took
It's
the
what that's
life
not
out of
BDS.
them,
That's
man.
that was just them.
They
Just
took
not
the
like.
life out of them.
I think that from game one though, they didn't look good individually. Like they
Game
weren't.
one,
They
I
didn't look warm.
rewatched game one. I rewatched game one. They had the pressure early.
They didn't look warm.
They had the pressure early.
I think
And,
that.
then Atomic literally just left the net open for him. And then after that, it's right.
So you're telling me the
why
way
would
that
not happen versus Furia? They wouldn't leave the net open versus Furia.
They could have, but Furia's going to keep pressuring them every single game. BDS don't play like that. BDS will take advantage of every little minute mistake.
But all we're saying is like on the last day, Furia, they beat Moist. They played BDS pretty close.
There's
and
okay.
they looked really, really good. So why would they
That's
not?
hypothetical.
Obviously,
You
but it
don't,
didn't
you
happen. Of
don't
course it's
know how
hypothetical.
that goes. And based off of what you've seen, there's nothing that shows you that G2's losing to Furia.
Except for the fact that Furia have played really well in a grand final like 3 weeks before that of a similar kind of caliber. They're playing for the exact same money. That final's worth 200 grand. And Furia, I know you guys say prize money doesn't matter. Let me tell you, it matters in Brazil. That's a lot of money in Brazil. And like it should matter for anyone else anyway. Like the whole like prize money doesn't matter nonsense. I think it's like a dumb narrative to push, first of all. I don't know why anyone would say that like publicly. It's like, oh yeah, let's just make people less interested in our event. So first of all, I don't know why anyone would even say that anyway. But secondly, of course players care. Like G2 are quaking. They're playing for so much money and they're playing for like the world's win. Nah, they just couldn't handle the pressure.
I guess G2 equals skilled in a
All I'm saying is G2, they clearly couldn't handle the pressure of a grand final of that caliber. Furia did literally 3 weeks ago. Furia are the team with the most like proof that they could handle that grand final pressure. They did it. They did it for the same money in Saudi Arabia.
like we literally lost 4-1 to BDS as well. Does that mean like we're the same as G2? Like, or is that the fact that G2 didn't play that well and they should have been
G2
better?
didn't play well, and then BDS took advantage of that even more. I don't think any team in
100%.
that bracket would have done that like
Exactly.
that.
But
I don't think any team in that bracket plays like BDS.
But why would G2 play better versus like Carmine Corp or Furia?
Because those teams play more offense than BDS. They're more on you. G2 would have flowed with that. BDS plays near perfect clinical Rocket League. They take advantage of every single mistake. They don't need to play offense to win.
It's nothing about rotation. They're just missing the ball though. They were like just choking.
There's more pressure on you when you have to play so perfect against a team. You know Furia's going to make more mistakes. You know Moist is going to make more mistakes. You know K-Corp's going to make more mistakes. BDS isn't making mistakes. So
I don't know.
I don't know if I agree though.
I feel like it's more the fact that they're in a grand final rather than, hey, we're playing BDS.
They've won the LA Major. They've won multiple regionals. They showed
This
you
is
they
Worlds,
can win.
though. This is the one thing
different,
JNAPS wants to win more than anything.
Oh my God! This is saying like they're acting like you act like they haven't been there in the final before, bro.
Well, they have.
Yeah,
They
Lucy
lost
J.
or what?
Carr.
You guys are arguing a useless hypothetical.
It's not useless. It's a very interesting conversation of would Furia have beaten G2 if they beat BDS? I think yes. You think no. It's a discussion. It doesn't annoy me to talk about this, but it's like tilting a lot of other people. I think G2 didn't perform anywhere near their best in the grand final, and I speculate that Furia would have performed near their best in the grand final. evidenced by.
You're reminding me of law school, bro. Get out the hypothetical. Oh my god, damn.
Wait, don't you like law school? Isn't that what you chose to do?
Point. This is like what you should be.
I think I like all you do is talk hypotheticals, bro. Stop with the hypotheticals. You have seen nothing that shows you that Furia would beat G2. Nothing. You were taking the grand
what do you
final,
mean nothing?
and with G2 literally whooped NRG. They whooped FaZe. They looked great going into that grand final, and just because they played a bad grand final, you have the audacity to say that Furia would beat them. What is that?
It's actually
you just gave him the reasoning. You just literally gave him the reasoning. They played well in the first two series, and they played poorly. And Furia's quality was enough to beat them.
Oh my gosh, bro!
But it's like, are you listening though? You said we've given no reasons. We've given you lots of reasons. You haven't answered any of the
BDS slapped Furia around in the same semi, who looked absolutely Furia in games 1 and 2, comparison to 3, 4, 5, and 6 was a completely different team. But we're just gonna ignore that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, for 1 second, like when you say that we didn't give you reasons, we actually gave you lots of reasons. You ignored them and then went right back to the same point you started with. You've got to like respond if you want this to be a discussion. It's not a discussion if you just like keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Like if somebody gives you a reason, you have to reply to that reason, not say, you'd never given me a reason. Like they just give you one. We've given you plenty. Like Furia played a good series versus BDS. They kind of like threw, I think, game 5. They should have won that. And if they win game 5, they're up 3-2. Not hard to
I'm done. Whatever, man. Fury would have beat him. Is that what you want me to say? Fury would have beat him. I'm done. I don't want to talk about it. Like, is that what you want? Fury would have beat him. Fury would have beat him.
All I said was,
what though?
all I said was, if G2 played like they did in that grand final against any other team, bar maybe NRG, they would have won. If they played like they did against BDS. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying G2 are worse than all the other teams there. I'm saying if they played how they did in the grand final, which I think we can all agree they didn't play well, any other team would have beaten them, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And we have absolutely no proof that would ever happen again, but it's whatever. It's okay. We can do ifs all day. If. Okay, let's go. I'm done.
I mean, you're going to do this yourself, though. You can't just say that you can't do this. You're going to do this. You do this all the time.
I think the real response is just if they were against those other teams, they wouldn't have felt as nervous or whatever it is. Yeah. That's the argument that T-Bates would want to make.
Yeah, and I'm arguing that it was the grand final nerves, not the fact they're playing BDS.
Yeah.
Because they've done it, but they played Vitality before and also did the same thing in a grand finals.
Yeah, that's the real point. Like we're going off on a lot of tangents here, but the real point of discussion is like Bates thinks BDS made G2 nervous. And
I don't think Bates never said that BDS made G2 nervous. Never
you said
once.
The way they played made them look bad.
I must have missed something there.
I said that G2 played like garbage, which they did, and then BDS took advantage of that and made them look even worse. Because BDS is that great. I don't think any other team would have done that. I think G2 started off hella slow because they were starting off ass. But I think BDS was the one team that could really take advantage of that. It was their play style. They took advantage of that more than any other team would have. I think that is historically proven that BDS does that. I don't think any other team in the game does that. So for y'all to argue that any other team in the game would have done that is asinine because there is no proof.
Didn't they concede a kickoff goal like the first 2 seconds? I reckon if Furia got a kickoff goal first 2 seconds of the game 1 of the grand finals, they're just rolling. They got that like it's over. Like they're rolling through.
That's a good argument. I don't think that's asinine at all to say that.
Okay.
This is also it's fun to
the moment. I think the moment got to G2. I think the moment got to them rather than any other team.
That was my takeaway from it, but yeah. And I rewatched it last night.
I think G2 are better than Furia, but the grand final pressure seemed to really affect them. Yeah. And Furia, I don't think after their success at Gamers 8 are going to feel, and beating Moise are going to feel that same pressure. And if they beat BDS, hypothetically, yes, I admit it didn't happen. It's a hypothetical. But I feel like after winning Gamers 8, and then beating Moise and BDS, they're probably not going to feel a lot of pressure because they don't have that history of losing a grand final in RLCS before. They've got a lot of recent success. But who knows? Maybe that's asinine to like try and...
I mean, this is why we keep coming back every couple of months just to do it all again. It's just that we got the goated roster here. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We could talk about anything and disagree. I think that's the best part.
It is actually the best part. That's why I love doing this.
Wait, Diz, what's your take on all this? As the expert
I
here,
don't want to leak anything.
I can't leave.
he said
He's been
less
leaking so
in
much
the stream
off
than any other.
I've been lurking.
Okay, so
I'm
wait,
saying-
what's the G2 situation role is? What's happening? Or what happened in the grand final?
So this and then that. Wait, what? You said what happened in the grand final?
Yeah, so what happened in the grand final with G2 and what happens if they play a different team than BDS? Like, why did they lose? Why didn't they look like G2? 2 wins if it's not BDS.
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Of
I'm
course.
gonna make Dave's blood boil a little bit. I honestly, the G2 that you saw in the grand finals was not the G2 I saw in the semis against us.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I don't know how you can go from one series being like it's not like they were extremely on against us, but they were really good. They adapted when they needed to, and we couldn't adjust after that. So they actually destroyed us like game 5 and 6, completely demolished us, and then our mental was chalk. But then going into the grand finals, I feel like in North America you have to be on this high. They might have had too much pressure on them, and I don't know. I think. Against other teams that play similar to BDS, G2 is still comfortable because they can run their offense. But against BDS, it was just the complete opposite. So I think it was the pressure of the tournament Worlds.
Okay, so last question for World is who wins if it's Furia and who wins if it's Carbine Corp instead of BDS? Did G2 win? Do they win against Furia or Carbine Corp on that day in that grand final?
I think they might be KC. I don't know if they're gonna be Furia. I think they might be KC. I'm not sure about Furia.
It's like a conflicting question though, because it's like on that day, but it's I'm saying I think they could still beat them all on that day, but I'm saying like how they played in that grand final against anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it's just oh now we're just going to do another match as G2 Furia, let's go, then I think G2 is still the favourites. But if they played how they did like that, if they played the same against anyone else, I can't see them beating anyone. But
I think it's all fun. Like I was backing up whoever came out of the upper bracket as well, because I thought Carmine Corp actually looked really, really good against BDS, etc. But I still wouldn't like faithfully go, yes, they're gonna win the grand final. I'd just be like, they're most likely to. It would be interesting to see how G2 would have played against the other teams because it is hypothetical, of course. I just want to give Bates a big hug. He looks so mad.
What I want to do is I want to give Bates the final word of the stream. I'm not streaming, so I hope that I hope our broadcaster is here and listening, so that Bates can have the final word and then boom, stop streaming. So Bates, the floor is yours. I truthfully do respect your opinion, and I've absolutely enjoyed every. This is the part that people don't understand is that usually when these streams finish, we're all just like, "That was sick! Like, great job, everybody! That was actually awesome."
Also, we love riling up Bates because he goes into it. He goes hard.
He is one of a kind. He's one of a kind, and I actually cannot wait for the next thing he's going to say every time that he's about to speak. I don't know if I'm I don't think I'm the only one. Every time Bates is about to open his mouth, I personally cannot wait to what he's going to say every time. In a good way, I really can. It's always good content. So Bates, please, if you will, could we have final word on any topic of your choosing?
I want him to go in on us. Like that was a good stream.
I want him to go in or whatever. I want him to do what he wants, and then we're offline, just like that.
This is a great stream. Why am I on here for 3?
I didn't say to do that. Okay.
I hope you all love my background. And then, even though we haven't seen Furia or K-Corp in a grand final at a world of the RLCS caliber, we should automatically assume that even though G2 choked under the pressure, that Furia and K-Corp, when they're under the bright lights, they're just going to improve. In our RLCS World Championship Grand Final, because they're built different. They're built different than any other team ever. So we just need to know that G2 can't play in the Grand Final, but them teams, they could play in the grand final, and they won't feel any of that pressure. All because they're just built different. And and that's all we need to know because they're just better. Yeah.